Hello guys, so let's continue and see how the sim is going to look like with all the new sources. I'm going to increase the sim a little bit so it doesn't take too long to compute, and let's hit play and see what we got. Now the main thing that I expect to be different is the expansion, because there is more density, there is more divergence coming in, because the source data is much higher, so we have to tune that down. So let's set this to 0.2. I always make drastic changes when I have values like this, so I go 10 times smaller and then see how it looks, and then increase. Let's say if it's too low, I'd set it probably to 0.6 or 0.5, so it's 4 times smaller than the original one, and then go from there. And now this is with the side tendrils and then the upward as well, so both of them coming in. And remember, we have more sub-steps in the first 13 frames or so, and then it's gonna go to 1, so it should be faster, but it doesn't mean it's gonna look more accurate in terms of these guys, but hopefully it will. Now the reason for this gap here is not because there is no data, it's because of the low-res voxels. It's not capturing that the information there correctly. So when we go to high res, we don't have to increase any substeps, it's going to capture that detail. Now the other thing that makes the sim slower is the incoming data, because we have much more voxels coming in, and the reading the source from disk already is slow, so that adds an overhead to this. But again, I always prefer to use the high-res sources independently from the resolution, because that can be a major factor, and you always have to recompute it every time you make a change in the resolution, and I simply don't want that. Okay, almost there. Let's go up and take a look. Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah, it's working perfectly. We have the nice sourcing here. The amount looks good. I don't want any expansion at the upper level. I just want the tendrils coming in. And then I'll probably increase the temperature because I want all this to rise up higher. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna pause and we'll come back in 2 minutes. Thank you guys. So the sim is done now, and this is the result that I got. I think it's working really well. Let me preview it without any sourcing or anything like that, and you can see we have all kinds of fine details within the sourcing, and this is pretty much what I'm looking for. You can see it here, and then we have the spikes. Now they're not reaching too high for some reason. Let's see the sourcing, and that's maybe I'm deleting them too soon. And this is actually where most of the slowness is coming from. It's coming from the source because it's quite heavy, and it has multiple fields. So probably if I just cache the density, because I'm not using any of the other fields, it will be a lot faster. Actually, I'll do that. So here I'm going to just remove everything but the density. And you know what? I'm not gonna recompute the node because it's heavy. So I'll do this here. So let's see. So this at name equal density, and then let's see, cool. And I'm gonna cache it again as a different source, v3, and then I will read this back in. And this way it's faster, and just process this this part, and it's done. So now it should be much faster. And I think the sources are not reaching that high, probably. Let me check against the original. Yeah, so I was hoping that these guys would be much higher, but I didn't tweak the sim properly. I wanted them to go this high up until here, but I think this will suffice for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the sim and do one more change. So the divergence is quite low at the moment, so I'm going to increase this to 0.6, and then I also want more temperature, so I'm going to increase this to 3, and I'm gonna cache it here live, and then if everything goes well, actually we can, it's quite fast, maybe. So we'll see how things are looking here. If everything looks good, I'm gonna increase the resolution and then sim it at a higher settings. Now, I don't think this has all the nice features of capturing the gradient and copying that into the temperature and everything. I think week 4 has a lot more details. This week I wanted to focus on sourcing, and I want you guys to use these techniques with all the good stuff that we did in week 4. And I think it's working with even with this, I think it's working with the expansion and all. Yeah, so I'm going to pause. Actually, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna increase the setting. Let's do it together. Cancel this. So I'm gonna increase this to 2, and I'll let this cache live for up until frame 70 or 60. And then we'll continue in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.